It's difficult to fathom a Ryzen 3 3200G system costing more than $1,000. In fact, depending on how frugal you are elsewhere in your budget, it can be difficult to build a 3200G system that costs more than half this asking price. There's so much wrong with this ad, so buckle in. If you're upset about that inconsiderate Windows activation watermark plaguing your screen, snag an OEM license. SCDKey makes it simple. You have one in a few seconds for a little over $10, then click here, 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 and then here, paste your activation key, and you can kiss that watermark goodbye. And be sure to use my new offer code GSL for a 12% discount on your order. So the Ryzen 3 3200G is a 12nm Vega APU that typically bundles with the Ray Stealth for around $100 USD. It's an entry-level CPU for sure, but Vega graphics really kick things up a notch over the vanilla 4-core 4-thread offering. That said, there's also a discrete GPU in this build, and it looks like this. A GTX 1650. Now, to be completely fair, despite the fact that the 3200G is an APU, pairing it with a DGP is still a pretty common practice, and the 1650 offers a nice counterbalance for the system as a whole. But for the $1,150 asking price, you've got to be smoking something to feel at all enticed by this. So the ad starts off in an unorthodox way, simply titled Gaming PC. I'm not sure if I prefer this vagary or the intricate, overhyped crap we're used to seeing in ads like these. Following the egregious price, we've got a quick upselling disclaimer. This gaming PC has all the works and some room for person touch. Okay. Or upgrades. Well, I don't know much about the gaining PCs part, but I sure as hell don't recommend you touch this one. And this is where things get super bizarre. The builder of this system decided for whatever reason that it'd be a fantastic idea to pair a $200 Thermaltake Core P90 case, or thereabouts, with a sub $100 processor. This thing is for show builds and the like, right? Not that you can't just build a conventional yet beefy system in here, but that's just it. It needs to be beefy to ultimately make sense. Spending twice as much on the computer's case as you do on the computer's processor should really make your head swing in a left or right fashion. And to make matters worse, we discover that the builders paired said APU with a board that costs $200 as well. Pay special attention here. There is absolutely no reason to pair an Overkill X470 board with an entry-level APU. No reason for it. Oh, but what if I want to upgrade to a better processor in the future? It's future-proof in that sense, right? Well then, why didn't you just cut back on the motherboard to begin with and buy a Ryzen 5 CPU up front? In fact, even the Ryzen 7 1700 and 2700 can be found infrequently for less than $200 USD, and sometimes at 1700 it's just like around 130 or 40 bucks. But if that isn't convincing enough, how about this pointless 360mm AIO? Look, it's possible the seller was interested in hardcore overclocking, but that still begs the question, why choose such an underwhelming chip for this? I mean, pick a Hyper 212 Evo instead, and you'll end up with a CPU that runs circles around a 3200G, even at stock. So the methodology just doesn't make sense here. And to top it all off, the power supply. A 3200G 1650 combo consumes at best a couple hundred watts of power under full load, and that's assuming a hefty overclock for both, which I doubt many will consider in this price range. All that to say, this system would be perfectly comfortable sitting on a 430 watt or 500 watt PSU. You can take that to the bank. It'll even give you a bit of headroom to expand later on, believe it or not. But to those saying, well, this person clearly wanted a future-proof system. You notice a pattern here, the whole future-proof crap? I say come off it. There were so many better ways to spend $1,050 on this system, and yes, that's exactly what it would have cost you to build what you're seeing here. That's right. I know I said it was outrageous to ask over $1,000 for a system with a 3200G in it, but because this builder was stupid enough to quote-unquote future-proof literally everything in here except for the components that actually matter, we've got a computer in our hands that'll likely never sell in its current configuration. My honest feedback for the seller would be to cut losses, disassemble the entire system, and part out individual components. Sure, you still might get lucky and find an interested sucker who knows absolutely nothing about PCs, but then you'd end up giving off a wrong impression about the PC gaming community at large. This system could be put together for literally half the asking price, but you just may end up convincing some poor uninformed soul out there, and I mean poor in the figurative sense, that this is what $1,150 could get you in a gaming PC in 2019, and that is just downright distasteful and irresponsible. If you guys enjoyed this video, click that thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. My name's Greg. Thanks for cringing with me.